morning. Greetings, friends. Good morning. Greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I specialize in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and often deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That's why we're here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 29 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity and skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, rosacea, eczema, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, we are here for you. We welcome your calls. We want to help you. There's no need for anybody to suffer with a degenerative health issue. Degeneration is unnatural. The body's a regenerating system. If you're dealing with a chronic, long-term breakdown, degenerative health challenge, please know that there are answers for you, nutritional answers, lifestyle answers. It's just a matter of making different choices, different lifestyle choices. It's not blaming the victim. It's giving the victim power. It's de-victimizing the victim to understand our responsibility, our complicity in our degenerative diseases. Let us show you how easy it can be to reverse the degenerative disease process. We'll get you on a good nutritional supplement program. We can wean you off your drugs. 844-236-6010 is our number on the bright side, 844-236-6010, and we want to hear from you, 844-236-6010. If you would like to purchase any of the longevity products, any of the products we advertise or recommend on the program, you can call the Bright Side Ben phone team at 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. They're friendly, they're helpful, they're knowledgeable, they know all about the longevity products. Or you can also go to brightsideben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, or pharmacistben.com, order products right off the website. You can also sign up to join the Bright Side Ben team right off the website. And if you'd like to purchase any of our Truth Treatment products, or if you want to check out our blog, our skin health blog, go to truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. I talked to a gal yesterday. Actually, she's a professor at Yale, and she called me up and she wanted to know about my Truth Treatment products, and she suggested to me that I tell you guys which product you should buy if you only want to buy one product. First of all, I know the products seem like they're pricey. They seem expensive. They're not really, because they last so long and because there's nothing in the bottle or in the jar that your skin's not going to use. So compared to other products, it's actually, in the long run, it's actually pretty cheap. But if you don't want to come up with whatever it comes out to, I think it's $700 to buy all four products, go for the Truth Serum. That's the first one to buy, is the Truth Serum. Now, the retinol gel, I know a lot of you guys are buying just the retinol gel, and I'm selling a bunch of it, and that's great. But if you're just using the retinol gel by itself, you're not going to get the maximum benefit that you would get as if you use all the nutrients together. That is, all the vitamin C products together, especially the omega-6 healing cream. Omega-6 healing cream and the retinol gel work really well together. But if you just want one product, I would recommend that it's the Truth Serum. And thank you, Dr. Sparkle, for pointing that out to me and suggesting I bring that up. The Truth Serum is the first one to try. Anyway, truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. We also have a blog with cool skincare information. I've been in the skincare business, as you guys know if you've been listening to this program, for 30 years. I started with the Blistex Corporation in 1983. So what is that? 33 years almost. And I've learned a lot about the skin, and I know a lot about the skin. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I'm saying that because I'm here for you. Nothing ticks me off more than people who claim to be healthcare professionals or skincare professionals, and they know nothing about health or nothing about the skin, and there's lots of them out there. It's the blind leading the blind. And skin, while it doesn't seem like it's a big deal. It's certainly not life-threatening if you have a skin problem or thin skin or acne-prone skin or dry skin or wrinkly skin. It's not like the end of the world, but it's a big deal for us from a practical standpoint. Nobody wants to have yucky skin. We assess each other based partially, at least, on how our skin looks. Not only that, if you have a skin problem, rest assured, it ain't hanging out there in a vacuum. If you have a skin problem, you got an everything problem. You can't have a skin problem. There's some certain fundamental things that I've learned over 30 years of being in the skincare business, 33 years. Number one, probably the most important thing I've learned, nobody just has a skin problem. Nobody just has a skin problem. This is so important. If you have eczema, you've got other things going on. And you can't treat your skin condition without treating the other things or without treating the underlying cause of all the breakdown. So if you have eczema, which is an inflammatory condition of the skin, you got an inflammatory condition of the digestive system also. That means you got digestive problems. Nobody has eczema without underlying digestive condition, period. Just let me take that back. Rarely you'll get what's called contact dermatitis, which is a topical irritation or inflammation, not irritation, but inflammation that can lead to rashes. But it's the vast majority, 99.99% of the time, eczema is an internal condition, a digestive condition. Likewise, psoriasis. Likewise, acne. Likewise, dry, crepey, old, wrinkled, thinning skin. And if you do have thinning skin, you got thinning bones too. And if you have thinning skin, you got thinning blood vessels too. So if you have thinning skin, it's not just cosmetic, although that's maybe relevant. If you're thinning, if the body is thinning, it's basically like the Wicked Witch of the West at the end of The Wizard of Oz. Remember, what does she say? The last thing she says, her last words, the Wicked Witch of the West. I'm melting. This is what happens as we get older. We melt, we dissolve, we thin, we disappear. So the trick is to turn the thing around, turn the process around, go from thinning to thickening. Thinning is largely, not only, there's some other things involved, but largely a fat issue. And because fats are difficult to process, fats don't come out of foods readily, fats are unstable and break down, because of all these issues, many of us, most of us, don't get enough fats into our blood. I'm not saying via food, we may be eating the foods, but we may not be absorbing them. But it's not getting into the blood one way or another. Dry skin, thin skin diseases, skin aging, these are mostly fat issues. And if you've been listening to this program for the last month, you know why. Fats don't get processed easily. And understanding this whole distinction between fats and water, fatty stuff and watery stuff, is key. It's so important if we're going to fix ourselves. And that's what it's really all about, you guys. It's fixing ourselves, being our own authority. That's really, to me, that's what's really going to get us over the hump, if we ever do get over the hump in our seemingly degenerating world, is if we begin to understand that we have to become our own authorities. There are power structures in place that could give a rat's you-know-what about us, and they're represented by the medical model. At least that's what we use as a representative on this program. But the government's the same way, and there are all kinds of authority trips everywhere. Police and military and politics and legal and IRS, and everywhere we look we have authorities. Well, there's lots of radio shows and podcasts where they talk about that, internet sites, and where they talk about how our power is being removed from us, extracted from us daily via politics and government, etc. But we do it here in terms of health, because to me, health is the ultimate insult when it comes to stealing our power and creating an authority model. So you got to understand the basics. Otherwise, our power is going to be stolen from us, and it has been. And that's why we're so darn sick. The body is so darn sick, even though it's a system that's meant to be healthy. That's why the body's degenerating, even though the divine force and nature and everything you could think of that runs the body, from the chemistry to the molecular nature, is based on regeneration. We're degenerating in a regenerative system. All right, we'll continue when we come back. Okay, we are back on the bright side. 844-236-6010 is our number. That line's open for you. We'll get your calls here in a bit. 844-236-6010, talking about fatty vitamins, fatty nutrients, and ways that you can help the body process those fatty vitamins and fatty nutrients. Topically, fats, of course, basically you're looking at vitamin A and vitamin C, but you can also get some benefits from essential fatty acids put on the skin. You got to be really careful with essential fatty acids if you're going to use them on the skin. Omega-6s particularly. The skin is a source of omega-6 fatty acids. Not a source, but it's a storage reservoir. There's lots of omega-6 fatty acids in healthy skin. In healthy skin. In unhealthy skin, there's not so much. That is very interesting. What that tells you is omega-6 fatty acid deficiency is a problem. Now, that's kind of interesting because you hear the opposite from a lot of nutritionists. They'll tell you, oh, don't worry about your omega-6s because we get them in grains, in grain oils. Well, it's true, theoretically, we should be getting them in grain oils, but we're not because we fry and we cook and we heat and we destroy these things. That's the problem with oils. The oils, first of all, to come out of a seed, like something like corn oil, to come out of the corn grain or the soy oil or sunflower oil, whatever kind of oil, grain oil we're talking about here, it's got to get processed out of that seed. This is why you always want to look for cold processed. Even then, you're going to still generate heat just getting the stuff out of the seed. But most oils are not cold processed. They're solvent processed, or they're sometimes heat processed. So between the processing, just the processing alone is going to destroy the omega-6s. It's going to at least reduce the amount of omega-6s that are in the oil. But then we cook with the oil. Then we heat the oil. So most of us are going to be deficient in omega-6 fatty acids, and that shows up on the skin as we get older. It also can show up on the skin if you have acne. The oils, sebum, skin oils, contain omega-6s if we're healthy. Omega-6s are liquidy. They flow. Remember, these unsaturated fatty acids are like liquids, and they have an ability to help things flow. That's what makes them so important. One of the reasons why they're so important. Essential fatty acids, and the reasoning behind it, or the mechanism behind it, is so amazingly cool. It all has to do with electromagnetics and repulsions and how positive charges repel each other. And I'm not going to get into it because I know some of you guys are rolling your eyes right now, but it's super cool. And the net result is EFAs have a liquefying effect on things. They improve the movement, the flow of things. That's why they're in the cell membrane. In the membrane, they help the membrane have this kind of flowy quality. When we don't get enough EFAs in the diet, omega-6s in particular in the diet, when we don't get enough omega-6s in the diet, or we're not absorbing them, or we have a gallbladder missing, or we have a liver problem, or we have an intestinal problem, whatever reason, an enzyme issue, our cells will incorporate harder fat, and the cells will not be flowing as well. Our sebum will become stickier, and it won't flow as well. Our skin oils will become stickier, and they'll clog up the pores. Omega-6s are an amazing way to deal with oily skin or acne issues. But you always want to take your omega-3s with your omega-6s. I know I said omega-6s, but omega-3s are also important. Omega-3s, by the way, do the same thing that omega-6s do, but more for the brain and the eyes and the nervous system. That's why they're so important for developing babies, for fetuses. So omega-3s have the same kind of effects in a cell that the omega-6s do, but more for nerve cells and brain cells. Omega-3s also, from a hormonal standpoint, because EFAs also play a role in hormones, in the production of hormones, a very special kind of hormone that nobody ever talks about. And I don't want to freak anybody out with the name, but they're called eicosanoids. You don't have to worry about the name of it, but they're a very, 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 very special class of hormones that have to do with how things have to do with inflammation. If you want to know one thing about fats, this is it right now, all right? Or essential fatty acids, I should say. If you want to know one important thing, or the most important thing about essential fatty acids, omega-3s and omega-6s, they are the capital T, okay, capital T, H-E, major players in inflammation and anti-inflammation. Now, there's zillions of other things about EFAs, but I'm going to tell you one thing about them. This is it right now. Via this whole eicosanoid phenomena, they are the players in inflammation and anti-inflammation. Why is that important? Because inflammation is